What's going on? Yo, yo, yo. Good morning. 6:30. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Like a dandelion in the hood. My sub can almost legally drink. Crazy that's your mind goes to, Matt and Doofus, but cheers. This feels like a cast of people who let things happen to them instead of making things happen. Interesting. A cast of subs. I like that. Worst possible result for Rachel. Okay, can I counter with this is the best possible result? How can you not hear it? Oh, you hear me now, okay. I would argue in many ways this is the best possible result we could have gotten. Now let me explain why. Actually, no, you guys guess in the chat. Do you have any theories as to why this is the best move, best thing that could have happened? Lauren's not using the veto. She's going to use it on Vince. I feel confident. But here's why. If left to her own devices, if Rachel had to make a renom if one of the nominees won, Vince, Morgan, or Mickey, I worry she would fuck it up. You know what I mean? I would be scared that she would then put up Kelly. Kelly would go disaster, wasted HOH. Lauren winning means either she keeps nominations the same, or Lauren uses it on Vince, and honestly, at that point, there's no good nomination. So Rachel can't really screw it up. She's just kind of fucked. She got the worst, unlikeliest outcome. And that's how it goes. Should have taken down Mickey. It looked like a real possibility. Rachel hasn't disappointed me yet with decision-making, noms, votes, stuff like that. So, I give her a benefit of the doubt. But it didn't look good. Yeah, and Mickey and Morgan are on the block on Thursday. That's a lock. So I think right now Morgan should be the betting favorite to be evicted. This could have saved Rachel's legacy. I think very little of Rachel's legacy is tied up with her strategic decision-making, but in the social media era, people would refer to this season a lot more than 13 or 12. The play I like the most is probably go to Riley and see if you can get him to volunteer. Number one priority is get Lauren not to use it. I just think Vince is going to be really persistent. Lauren really values Vince in the game. Lauren's kind of a pushover. I just think Vince is going to get her to use it on him. And if Vince doesn't, God, I still think Vince is the best player in the house, but, it just means he's not that good. What's up, Trey? Your hyper BB pill. It's becoming a problem. I've seen the light. This is a great season, Trey. When did you start watching? I know you've been in reality TV forever, but, BB specific, was it 25 as your first year, or was it before that? Are you just super into it now and you've always been kind of into it? Because compared to 27, or 26 rather, this season's been must-see TV every day of feeds. He's very passive. He's very passive except when it comes to his own safety. He's not going to push an agenda to get his op out, but if he's on the block, he pushed hard for Catherine to use the veto on him. Lauren should. Let's be real. Lauren not using the veto is super stupid. Very, very stupid. Need Will to go up? What's your reasoning, America? Is he taking Mickey's side in everything? She must be watching Conversation right now because this opinion could not have formed from anything else. Anyone next to him will go up. America, you're overcooking. Someone, nurse, nurse, get her. I think Riley is the correct version of that nomination if you want to do it. Yeah, the 27th. It's been really fun, Trey. I have my complaints, but I really liked it. I think it's objectively a pretty wrong move. If your goal is only to get rid of Morgan or Mickey, sure, it's a good move. But you're burning Will. And you're burning Ashley forever. And you're burning... Mickey's already burnt. You're burning Ava forever. Let's be real. Rachel cannot gather the votes. Rachel is not capable of that. She does not have the relationships for that. The skill for that, she has some of it, maybe. But, like, she's not going to be gathering the numbers. I didn't say blindside him. If he agrees, still a bad move. Because then off the block, you're going to have a lot of people who are, like, are down to get rid of Will. No, I think Riley, if you want to put up a pawn, you try to get Riley to volunteer. That's the play. I think the other option is, like you said earlier, America, just put up Kelly. Because if Kelly leaves, that's bad, but Kelly's not with Rachel, at least. And Kelly's proven in the blockbuster. I'd bet on her before Mickey or Morgan. What I think is going to happen is Keanu is going to volunteer to go beat Morgan and Mickey in the blockbuster. And if he said that, I think he'll get evicted. But I think if the veto seems like it's going to be used, that's what Keanu will do. And I hope Rachel won't listen, because it's very tempting when you have someone volunteering. Very, very tempting. Do you my theory that BB-27 is a modern BB-9? Little to no strategic chops, but highly entertaining in a cracked way. I just don't know enough about BB-9. I don't know how rabid they were gaming, because I think that's what I view BB-27 as. Like, BB-27 is like, what if Izzy was running BB-25 instead of Suri and Izzy? So there's no, like, centralizing force if Suri's not there. It would all just be fucking chaos. There's no structure here. You know what I mean? Keanu going on to Rachel's HOH seems right. Look, so here's my thing, and this is just a take I have, because once upon a time, guys, I was HOH, and I had to make nominations. If anybody volunteers for the block, I don't blame people that much for putting them up. I'll criticize the decision, I'll say it's wrong, but I totally understand it. It's hard to make nominations. You're looking forward to next week. You know you can't play. You want to protect yourself. And I get why Quinn puts up Cedric or Vince puts up Kelly. I get it. It's still wrong, but I get it. So if Keanu volunteers, Rachel does it. Keanu probably wins the blockbuster anyways, but even if he doesn't, I understand why Rachel did what she did. I think if it's between Kelly and Keanu, she'll put up Kelly, but I think Keanu is going to emphatically volunteer. Number one priority, though, should be Lauren. Get her to not use the veto. Now, here's how they do it, right? What this guarantees, which is good, is Mickey's on the block. I think there was a lot of different situations where Mickey might end up off the block. If Will won the veto. If Rachel won the veto, of course. If Mickey won the veto. Those are all possibilities for her to come off. So that's avoided. She should put up Ashley. No. Okay, I've seen a lot of Ashley criticism, and I get it, because we're all fans of Rachel and rooting for Rachel. I don't think what Ashley did yesterday was that bad. The thing is, like, if she truly believes Mickey was never targeting Rachel, she deserves to go in the loony bin. That's crazy. But she's correct to lie to Rachel about Mickey. Like, what the fuck does Ashley have if Mickey goes? Like, the whole point of Ashley's position is she could play between Rachel and Mickey. And without one of them, her position's trash, because then everyone's just nominating her next to Mickey. The whole point now is if she's on the block next to Mickey, she stays, because she has some connections. Even if that's not totally true, we don't know, but that's the idea. Her laughing about Rachel's looks, was that Ashley? Or Mickey? Almost certain that Morgan goes this week. Barring Blockbuster is a big asterisk, right? It's like, barring Blockbuster is like, yeah. I think Morgan is most likely to go. I mean, Morgan would have Vince in her corner. I guess Lauren in her corner if they're both off the block. That's 2 votes. Where else are the votes? She's not getting Lauren, or she's not getting Riley or Kat. Martins, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. What's up, different time today? It really isn't. Usually I stream at 7 Central. Oh, wait, so am I extra? No, this would be... Oh, I'm extra early. This would be like if I'm streaming at 5:30 Central, right? But I just wanted to stream right before the veto results came in, and then they immediately came in, so we're streaming the aftermath. Martins, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate you, Martins. How are you doing? Where do you live? Give me a rough estimate. Give me a direction of the United States. You West Coast, East Coast, the South? Where do you call home? I'd rather Mickey go home this week. Say what you will about Mickey, she's got a hold on some of these people. I don't know how, but she's got a hold. Kat and Riley are swinging. They want Morgan out. Exactly. Like, that's why Morgan's screwed, because of Riley and Kat. Isn't Martin's a politician? I did hear about this. Yes. Latvia. Love that. I'm just excited it was a long OTEV. It was funny. It was one round last season. I can't express how bad last season was at competitions minus Tucker. And MJ is obviously skilled, but her comics time was kind of bad. Like, she would have gotten 5th, I think, on our season. I think we've seen enough data to see 26 as one of the weakest seasons competition people-wise. Tucker's a legit comp beast. Quinn's pretty good. MJ's pretty good. Chelsea's pretty good. That's about it. Rachel, Morgan, and Mickey got out in round 3. It's funny. So was that it? It was like round 1, 2, and then the third is the final round. It's pretty bad. But again, thank you, Martins. I appreciate it. And thank you, Corin, for gifting a sub to Manda Pants. Thanks for Corin, my gifted sub. But what a queen. Exactly. Still triggered by America not winning BB Comics? Yeah. Cam and Joseph, the comp piece of last year. People shit on Cam. That guy won a veto. It's more than most Big Brother players. Oh, they're good, Jerry. I think Will first, Vince second, Lauren won in the 3rd round. That's hilarious. Do we know what OTEV was this year? What do he look like? If you're going to replicate Chick-fil-A sauce, it's half a cup of mayo, 2 teaspoons of mustard, 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce, 2 tablespoons of honey. You just ruined it for me. There's mayo in that shit. Get it out. Kat saying don't use it. Good. I think Lauren should use it. Rachel's against her. She would have been in the arena more than likely. Don't fuck around with your number 1 ally. It's not like Vince is a great number 1 ally, but she is beyond safe on a Vince HOH. And Vince is hungry for an HOH, so no reason to not use it. You're safe. Wait, actually, though, wait. If you use the veto on someone, are you safe? How does that work? Do you guys know? I've always been unclear about the rules. But thank you, Jennifer, for the 19 months. I appreciate it. Who do you think wins wall comp if Morgan leaves? Y'all are really confident that Morgan was like the clear wall winner, huh? You guys were certain about it. A pig, the hog father. Was he wearing a suit? It's kind of funny. Did he take the hat to OMAC? No. This is not a hat that does well with packing. It doesn't collapse. Lauren clears wall. I think Lauren would be maybe the second to last person I would bet on. Like, very skinny, like, girls or guys, for me. Like, it doesn't work on the wall. You want to have, like, very lean, big hands, a good grip. Being a big guy is fine as long as you're not way too big. Jared's like 5'9". Tucker was like 6'2", 6'1". I don't think Riley being 6'5" is going to be good. I could see Kat doing quite well. I think Kat seems to have a little bit more like arm strength than Lauren. I could see Vince doing pretty well if he is as athletic as he kind of claims. But you know, I wouldn't expect Vince to win. But there's no clear frontrunner on this cast. To be honest, do you know who I think wins the wall? I think Keanu. I think Keanu does just brute strength it. On this cast, I think he could do it. You know, if Jared could do it, Keanu's a lot bigger than Jared, but I assume he's also a lot stronger. Unless the handles are weirdly whatever, I think Keanu has a good shot. I can see Kelly winning. Kelly might just have that dog in her, maybe, but I'd be surprised. Ava, I think Ava would be my last choice. I think I'd bet on Rachel before Ava. Ava would actually definitively be my last choice on the wall. Will. Will would be last, then Ava. Ava's either first offer she's winning, or the other outcomes, the other range of placements. Mickey could win, maybe. I don't know Mickey's background athletically. The bulkier you are, the least likely you are to win it. That is the old wall, Rob. We are in a different era now. If you look at the last few wall winners, it is not the least bulky person. I think it was the bulkiest person on our cast. Maybe Matt is bulkier. And on, 26, it was definitely Tucker. Rachel never played in a wall comp, did she? Was she the outgoing HOH during BB13? I know she had a couple HOHs there. She's been outgoing HOH every time. Wow, it's funny. Super, super random. Have-nots should be back for the wall. You just hate everyone. Why? You don't care about the have-nots. You're trying to make people miserable. How dare you? Rachel tied the HOH record, I believe. Is that with Cody, I would assume? Taylor did win the wall. I think Joseph threw it to her at the end, but when you make the final two and someone throws it to you, who knows if they could have even hung on, you know? Where's Big Brother? There haven't been have-nots for 3 weeks. I think they might just do away with them. I think they're just over it, which I respect. Kat told Lauren, don't use the veto, and if you do use it, don't use it on Mickey. I think we'll know a lot once Vince speaks to Lauren. Because Mickey's not a concern. It's going to be Vince or nobody. Her and Cody have 7. I thought Cody... Oh, Cody has 7 vetoes, 7 HOHs, right? Yeah. Jimmy and Kat cheated on Slop. Just stop pretending like you guys like you guys care. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, it's annoying, but it's fine. Who cares? There's someone internationally won 9, I think, if that matters. It doesn't matter to me. These 4 shows are formatted so differently. It's pretty impressive that Rachel is tied, because, yeah, she's played 3 times, but she has only made it deep once. And this time we're only at week 5. Like, BB12, she went out pretty early. She didn't have that many chances to win comps. BB13, she had a full season. And then, obviously now, we're early days. Cody had 2 full 100-day seasons. 100-ish days, like 90-something. Keanu said everyone loved Rachel when she cooked for the have-nots. You think that's what caused her game to spiral? Damn, that's rough. You never know what it's going to be in Big Brother. Rachel broke the have-not by requesting it every time. I legitimately think that's why they stopped have-nots, the more I think about it. Because Rachel would have kept volunteering to lose weight, and, like, being a have-not twice in a row, I don't know how the fuck Rachel did it. I was by far the biggest have-not my season. I had it 3 times out of 6 weeks. I was dying, but I never had back-to-back. Back-to-back would kill me. In 16, they had 2 HOHs. That's a good point. I don't know if they count his stats as, like, he has to not be dethroned. I'm not sure. Diet hack, I guess. Yeah, I lost a shit ton of weight. Damn, Vince looks kind of cool with the bandana and the hair flowing. Rachel's yapping with Kat. What are they talking about? Let me tell you, by the way, I'm kind of impressed with Riley's game. I don't think ultimately he doesn't want to win, so it doesn't really matter, but he's just got, like, he's Matt Klotz of the season. He's the Matt, pretty clearly. He's a yes man. He seems really menacing, but no one's threatened by him. I would say Matt has less red flags around him. Like, Matt's a better chameleon in that way. But, it's the vibe it's getting. Like, he just says yes to everyone. Everyone thinks Riley's their guy. And Riley, truthfully, is not their guy. And the house loves him, yeah. The one thing about Riley is, like, what if Matt was in love with Blue and wanted Blue to win the game? Like, that's why, in that position, Matt would be much worse. They're assholes behind everyone's back, yeah. And then where Fitbit told everyone how much weight people gained, lost at the end. Was it like a Fitbit sponsor? Because that's not good. I don't know why they would do that. This is why we need an Ashley HOH. Do we? What does Ashley do? Riley, Kat, Vince or something? Probably not Vince. Riley, Kat, Kelly, maybe? Riley, Kat, Keanu? I am worried about an Ashley HOH. I don't feel comfortable. I feel better with an Ava HOH, frankly. I feel better with a Will HOH. And Ashley HOH is kind of scary. Mickey's really mad at her and there might be a fight. She's kind of... I need someone else to say it other than Kelly for me to believe it. Who do you think is going to nuke their game into oblivion this week? I think Ashley's the most likely. Because I think Ashley has already been kind of trending in that direction. Ava's kind of fed up with her. I think Will's getting there. Rachel's certainly getting there. It's just like, she's just so annoying. When Ashley goes into Rachel's room and is like, you screwed up, girl. You screwed up. Yeah, you screwed up, but we can still fix it, you know? You messed that one up. They got in your head. You have been manipulated. I'm not clicking Twitter links. You could describe it to me, though. I can see Ashley siding even more with Mickey this week. Yeah. Which is weird. Usually when your friend gets put up on the block that you were whatever about, you turn on them, because that's the easy thing to do. Who do you think you would have aligned with this season? The gamers. Maybe Vince, Morgan, Rachel. Even Keanu. The people who just are rabid. That's who I like working with. It's more fun. What are Will and Ava talking about? Ava's so mad at Ashley. Ava's going off right now. Hello. Damn, I'm trying to do the same thing with your name, but both of the parts start with A. Ander. Who do you foresee winning the season? Don't ask questions like that. Right now, my guess would be whoever sits next to Catherine in the final two. My guess right now is Lauren. I think Lauren is who I feel most confident about. Love the Cowboy Carter fit. I'm a OTEV the Yodeling Cowboy today. Ashley said Lauren's just a body and has no thoughts. It's just like, I hate when people just want to shit talk and they just make it like sexist or racist or even like morally righteous. However, whichever way you want to do it, it's just so annoying. Just say you don't like them. It's fine. Like Zach calling Ashley dumb is bad because there's connotations to that as well. But if Ashley was like, you know, she's dumb and all she's got is a pretty face, that's a different level, you know? But Ashley's been saying dumb shit all season. Like, okay, this is what I told America, because I'm rooting for Ashley. I think she's very fun to watch. She's an active player. But we know what Ashley is. Like, Ashley is not a reliable person to root for. Like, you can't count on Ashley. Like, she's going to have moments where you're like, she's my least favorite person in the house. So just know what you sign up for with Ashley. Like, Lauren's also the nicest person in the house. Lauren is very nice. And all the things we're critical of her about is like, come on. Like, she's just boring, you know, and she doesn't do very much. And, like, that's... You could criticize it and be annoyed by it, but I don't think anyone's anti-Lauren the person. I'm worried if Will does open his mouth to people about Ava's dislike of Ashley. Ava's done really good at being likable and kind of forgotten by everyone. I mean, Will is the right person to tell if that's your concern. The look on Ashley's face when Lauren won. At least Lauren will get some DRs now. Yeah. No one reliable this season. The most reliable is Rachel. But that doesn't mean she's, like, in a good position or could win. But Rachel's been very consistent with her thoughts and who she's targeting, and she's been pretty correct about most of her stuff. She just doesn't have the social tact, or the other people just don't fuck with her. You know, it's hard for her to get anything going. She's been playing kind of messy, though. Like, she's been really bad going up to Vince's top allies, telling them to target Vince. Like, but she's been consistent and reliable is what I'll give her. Any world where you could see Ava win this season? Yeah, I mean, someone has to. But she'd be a bottom tier winner. Like, she's just too passive, you know? She's way too passive. She lets the game kind of float however it may. She won an HOH, right? And she made good noms, but that entire week she did nothing. She actively like worsened her position despite getting out a huge target. I fear some people in the house will start criticizing Laura in the same way they did America. They've already done that. Rachel's done some of that. Mickey's done some of that. Morgan's done some of that. Like, yeah, that was weeks ago, but that happens every season. And I think, look, some of these hyper-religious people make that more of a thing. Accentuate that. Could you see a Rachel win? No. I think Rachel, it's hard to imagine a path for Rachel because she just doesn't have enough people going to bat for her. But I do think she'll make it to like mid-jury. I think she makes it to 7th or 8th. Lauren is young. I don't blame her for being a bit bland. I think the young excuse is so silly. Look at the past like 5 young people on the show. Myself, Cedric, Mackenzie, Riley was pretty young. On 23, Hannah. Maybe Hannah. Like, I was talking about Hannah earlier because she's joining Chat BCC or joined it. And I feel like Hannah is like, what if Lauren was a bit of a better player? What if Lauren was better at Big Brother? She'd be Hannah, you know? Ian was 21, and he did not have a small personality. Maybe Steve? Like, I think age plays a significantly lesser role than people talk about generally. I think if you're the oldest person on the cast, that could be a hurdle to get over, but nowadays casts are generally older, so it's not as big of a thing. Firmly believe you would have all done better if you had gone on a few years later. Felicia's 63 and was really bad at the game. Angela was 53 and was the worst player in the house, or close to it. Kenny was in his 40s, was the worst player in it. I just don't. I think Big Brother is such a specific skill set. Age has almost no bearing on it. I think life experience has very little bearing on it. I'm a believer in you set your own destiny and you accomplish what you accomplish, and it's not all destiny, but like at a certain point you are who you are, and you'll always be that person, and that's the person who's going to play Big Brother, regardless of what age you are. No, I understand, Josie, but I disagree, is what I'm saying. I disagree. Less age and more confidence? Yeah, well, look, your personality matters a lot. I just don't, I guess, act like personality is a, product of age. I don't believe that. Season of good players or good personalities, obviously it'd be better to have a mix, but I'm curious. If you have to pick between the two, personalities, for sure. That's not close. If it's like good players with good personalities or terrible players with great personalities, then I would do the good and good. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather season 20 than 27, but I'd rather 27 than 26. If that makes sense. Cody is proof of age improving your game. Do you understand the definition of proof? Because I have a lot of counterclaims. Do you want me to start going down my counterclaims? Evil Dick is evidence that age hurts you, because he won the game the first time and then was evicted day 2 the second time. I call you that and raise you, Evil Dick. Like, a lot of people have played once and then come back. Dan actually has become terrible at reality TV. He waited a lot of years, went on Traitors, and was terrible. If he was 21, I think he wins that season. Obviously, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, Evil Dick wasn't evicted from the house, but every single returning player who placed better the first time than the second time is a counterpoint to that argument. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, you can't argue just one example. Like, Rachel was way too young on BB12. Then she came back on 13 older, won the game. Now she's back and is at the bottom of the house. And she's played the same every fucking time. This time, it's a little different because obviously, as you grow up, you slightly mature as a person. Rachel has. But she's still Rachel, and she's still on the bottom of the house, and she still has everyone gunning for her, and she's still winning HOHs when she needs to. Use the wrong example. I thought Evil Dick was the funniest example because he went from winner to gone day 2, you know? No, I don't think I would be better in BB30. I think I would because I would learn from my mistakes and I would like try to intentionally learn. But that's a different thing. That's not an age-related thing. That's like a experience playing Big Brother thing, which is a huge deal, of course. There's a sweet spot for age where you don't automatically become better the older you get. I think obviously going in at 29 years old is a good thing just because you're like the median age of the house. You could bond with everybody. But I think in terms of your aptitude as a player, I think that is dramatically overstated. Very, very overstated. And you look at like the winners and like, yeah, they're all kind of a certain same age, but that's like the average age of a Big Brother player, not just a Big Brother winner. I just think you're wrong, Meeks. I really do. I feel very strongly about this, and I went in at 21. You know, like I feel like I have a unique perspective on this, and of course, if I'm 30 and I change my mind, maybe, but like, there's no amount of life experience that can prepare you for the Big Brother house. I think that's the point. Ashley is 25 and a lawyer. She's extremely accomplished, and she has no idea what's going in the house. Mickey is 35, a very accomplished woman herself, has no idea what's going on in the house. Will is 50, probably has the best read on the house of anybody. Adrian is 23, has no idea what he's doing. You know, like, it's like you can look at like 27 seasons of data and come up with something to support every argument. If you're born in Michigan, your chances to win go up 10%. Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of a good example. Is it all their first time? What are you talking about? When the HOH competition is age. Yeah, the oldest woman in the house gets HOH. It's going to be the next comp. Oh, shit, Mickey would win. Because Rachel can't play. Did you apply for the new NBC Traders? No, I did not. I think my contract's probably up. I probably could apply for anything. No, I'm not missing the point, Kenzie. I'm disagreeing with your point. I don't know how else to say it. I totally understand the argument. You're saying you mature, you have more life experience, all of that stuff, and that's good. But there's also drawbacks with aging, of course. You're going to stay up less, you know? You'll have more baggage at home. You'll have kids at home. You might have a partner at home. I do understand the premise of, like, the older you get, the more comfortable you get in your own skin. But I was 21, and I was more comfortable in my own skin at 21 than I am now. And that's not, like, trying to elicit sympathy, but that, like, aging is not linear. If you want to make a very broad statement and just be like, people who are more confident in their own skin succeed in Big Brother, and generally, broadly speaking, age, it's not a fucking exception, Kenzie. It's not. Like, it's an example. It's an example to show a broad trend. Look, you can make that claim about Lauren. That's fine. If you think Lauren specifically would be better at 30 than she is now, sure, I don't know. That's fine. But I think personalities are personalities. And, like, Mimi's 30. I think if she's 35, she'd play the same. I think if she's 25, she'd play the same. But the thing that actually changes how you play is the dynamics of the house. I think Blue on this season is very different from Blue on our season. And very different than Blue on 26. I think that's, like, really what determines people's, like, play in terms of, like, their range of outcomes. Worst Big Brother US player and it's a newborn? No, a newborn would be... I don't think... If a newborn played Big Brother, I don't think they'd be in the top half of players all time, but I don't think they'd be in the bottom third. You know what I mean? A lot of men need to mature and calm down. Riley would be better in 10 years. You think? I don't think so. I think he might be worse. I think he actually would be worse. Because the whole thing about a newborn is, like, they're not going to be self-destructive. They're easy to pick up as a number. Newborn are kind of unreliable votes. Yeah, Riley's not a youngin. Like he's 27. He's fine. Of course, you could mature. Izzy said she did a lot of her maturing in her early 30s, but like Riley's, he's a big boy. He's an adult. The baby would get voted out. No one wants to take care of a baby. Yeah, but whoever does take care of a baby, that's valuable. Six or 7-year-old might eat? Nah, because they'd be annoying. And they could win a quiz comp. If a 5-year-old was in the house, what would be your plan? I would have to get rid of him immediately. Because I can't win competitions reliably. So I need to get out all the other goats. So I'd have to get rid of the newborn. Backdoor, week 1. I guess I don't have to backdoor him. I probably don't have to backdoor the 5-year-old. I think I could beat them in the veto. I would hope. Phoenix Smedley is our example of this. Did Phoenix win or did Riley win? I think Riley won, right? 6-7. Shut up. 5-year-old making a run is AFP lock. Nah, fucking Twitter's gonna send the 5-year-old death threats. Goo goo gaga, kill yourself. I can already imagine the accounts. I know exactly who would do it too. You think I'm wrong? Baby's gonna get carried out to booze. You and Molly on BB28, what's the strategy? I would be so fucked. I'd be put on the block next to her and I'd go home. Oh, man. The 5-year-old ally of yours can't make it to the top of OTEV. Neither could Felicia. She still got 4th in that comp. The 5-year-old ally of yours names? What do you mean names? For the 5-year-old? Send the baby as the first member of the jury, have them campaign for me. Oh, that would suck for the jury handlers. They'd have to take care of a 5-year-old. Okay, here's a better question. Does the 5-year-old go on God 101? How do you feel about that? Vince is crashing out right now. So I guess Vince is saying if he made it to the 3rd round, he wins the comp, basically. Does school start for the kid when summer vacation ends? I assume he's taking the year off. Or at least he'll go back when school's done. I do think in general, though, like, the fact that Vince is so upset about this result is concerning. Because I thought Vince would be rooting for him or Lauren. Like, Vince, obviously, if he wins, that's awesome. If Lauren wins, I think he'd feel pretty good. Because Lauren doesn't even have to pick between, like, him and Zach anymore. If it was him and Zach on the block, I get if he's like, oh, shit. Lauren's kind of, she might just want to stay out of this so she doesn't have to pick between the two of us. But with just him, it's like, Vince, just get to cooking. You should be fine this week. The second I saw Lauren win, I thought it was like a foregone conclusion she'd use it. Could be a pride thing about winning OTEV. I mean, Vince is... I can't tell if he's like the least prideful person ever or the most prideful. Somewhere in the middle. Actually, not really somewhere in the middle. A bit of both is what I'd say. Do you feel this house is more personal, non-game conflict than the last couple seasons? Like, in your season, you guys mostly still got along decently well, even on opposite sides. You're wrong about that. I think it's more so than 26, but 26 had a lot of stuff hidden from the feeds. Yeah, I think this one's a more personal season than 26. 25 was as bad as any of these seasons. I think the difference between this season is, like, this season's got personal stuff across the board. It's not like one person is the subject of all the hate. On our season, it was, like, all about Heisem. Everyone hated Heisem. Everyone hated Kirsten. Then everyone hates America, and that lasted a long time. This season, it's kind of like Rachel's getting a lot of hate. Ashley's getting a ton of hate. Keanu, people are talking shit about, but not really in that personal of a way. There's a lot of personal shit being said about Lauren, The thing is, it's mostly the same people. It's like Morgan, Mickey, and Riley are kind of the worst proponents of this. And then some other people dabble. Are we ever going to get a true alliance? I don't think with a name. This feels like 25 in that way, where like they kind of started with some named alliance, they blew up, and now people are just kind of keeping it cash. The personal shit is usually said about a woman. Yeah, most of the personal shit said about me was probably because of my association with America. A woman, of course. Tucker and Quinn kind of hated each other. Quinn never hated Tucker. I don't want to speak for Tucker. I don't know if it was hate. Quinn never hated Tucker. Quinn was beyond charitable and trying to make it work and helping Tucker not quit the game and stuff. Like, that was very me and Heisem coded. I never hated Heisem, but certainly targeting him. Morgan is glazing Lauren now to Vince, and she wants to make a trio with Vince and her, even after all this shit's talking. So here's the thing. Morgan should try very hard to make sure the veto gets used, obviously on herself, but if not on herself, on Vince. Because she needs Vince's vote to stay. She can't be giving up votes to anybody. So it's like very important that Morgan also, you know, goes to Lauren and says, please use it on me. She's like, I don't know if I can. Okay, at least Vince. Because they got a couple people telling her that. That could help her a lot. Not to mention, it opens the door of, like, who is the replacement nom? That could fuck up Rachel. Maybe it'll be someone like Keanu, who I can stay against. Because right now, she's kind of drawing dead against anyone who goes on the block. Even Kelly, I think she goes home. Keanu, I think she could survive that. She's a better shot, at least. So I hope that's what Morgan's doing. Keanu and Kelly called something. Or Keanu and Vince calling themselves the showrunners. That's pretty funny. Lauren is so scared of doing anything. I just think when Vince presses her hard, I think she'll fold. And I do think Vince will press her hard. I know he's passive, but it's his own safety. In those spots, we've seen him be pretty forceful. Lauren's really close with Kelly, Catherine, and Riley, so I'm praying. Yeah, Rachel just has to not fall for the Keanu trap. That's the one I'm worried about. I don't think it's very likely. I think Rachel likes Keanu. But I think if she threatens one of the other three, then I think Lauren could be good. Maybe what I would do is be like, this is very big-brained, probably wouldn't work. Is like you go to Lauren and say, I'm putting up Riley, and I'm telling Riley that I told you this. So Riley knows if you choose to use Vince, he's going on the block. So him and Kat are going to be pissed at you. And then I go to Riley and say, Riley, I'm never going to put you up on the block. My actual replacement nom is Kelly, obviously. But I really don't want it used, so I'm telling Lauren this. So if she does use it, Kelly's going up. I just want to warn you, like, that's what I told her, because I really don't want her to use the veto. You know. I think that the danger with that plan is, like, if I'm Riley, I wouldn't like that plan. Like, hey, don't use my name as a fake replacement nom plan, please. But I think it's almost like big-brained enough where Riley might be like, oh, sounds cool. Genius plan. Riley's not going to understand that. Put me in the house. My plan's fun. My plan would be good. All of this, and Laura doesn't even want to use it at the start. Oops. I went to the gym today. I found my Boston gym. Pretty good. Quick 2.6 on the treadmill. Miles. Got my little tag. Then I went, got myself a little water bottle. Do you guys want to see my new water bottle? 1 second. Look how cute. Just a nice casual water bottle, you know? Nothing crazy. I don't understand people who have that fucking, like, the jug. The 36-ounce, 50-ounce bottles. Everyone, like, there's refill water bottle stations around every fucking corner. In every building. Celtics Brandon, welcome. Hope you enjoy Anthony Simons. I'm going to be going to a lot of games this year. Obviously, I never wish injury on someone, but Jason Tatum getting injured has opened up the possibility for me going to Celtics games, because those are going to be cheaper. Will you use the water bottle? Yes, for school. Also for the gym, I drink pre-workout on the way there, so I need another bottle for actual water, and I only have one bottle. But yeah. I carry one of those like jugs around with like the handle for Coke. Have you practiced your school route yet? I've gone there 3 times or twice maybe. It's pretty intuitive. The stop is called Northeastern, so it's not that hard. $3.50 for nosebleeds? Jesus. Celtics should tank this year. They're probably going to make the playoffs if they don't tank, to be honest. Just because good coaching, and they've got Derek White still, Jaylen Brown. Nervous about law school? No, I'm excited. I know how to do school. School's easy. Compared to reality TV, influencer life, not even kidding. For me, at least. I find being a student easier. But maybe law school will kick my ass. Who knows? Have you thought about getting a trainer? No. I think I'm stubborn. Even if I was like on a show like that required crazy strength, a challenge, or I guess Amazing Race to some capacity, it's like I would just be arrogant. Like I could do it myself. And I would work out really hard and probably less efficiently than I should. Bay Area, Imagine Warriors tickets. Damn, all that money to see Quentin Post not defend. Any Patriots games this season? Yeah, they should be good. If we're going to go, it's going to be one of the first few games because the weather will turn quick. Do you have a favorite Glee character? I liked Sebastian and Santana. Smooth Criminal is my favorite Glee song, but I don't remember the episode to episode at all. I also liked Mike Chang. Big Tay for Gleeks and Americory patrons. I think we're going to release Glee tomorrow. We're going to watch The Genius today. I think the schedule we're thinking about would be podcast days Tuesday, rewatch Friday, and then rewatch the other rewatch Sunday, I think. I think that's what we've landed on. What was my LSAT score? Did I tell you guys my LSAT score? Does anyone know? I don't mind sharing it. I like transparency with these things. Like I don't care much either way. Book club on hold. Yeah, it's just kind of. What score did I say? Do you guys actually know? Book club's on hold. It's just not very fun. I don't think for America or me, especially America at this point. It was a 165, yeah. Which for the amount I studied, I think is a very fair score. I think if I grinded my ass off, I could get that up to a high 160 something, but those were basically my practice scores, was 165s. So I think it's a fair representation of my aptitude on the exam. In your PowerPoint, right? I did that PowerPoint stream, right? I think we're doing a sponsored stream soon, by the way, so I'll figure out something special to do, cook something fun to do for that. Mike Ross 2.0. Imagine Mike Ross is pretending to go to Northeastern Law. Any explanation for the fit? I'm OTEV the Yodeling Cowboy. I thought it was like thematic for the day. It was kind of lame though. I said OTEV the Yodeling Cowboy waits for Veto results, but I was too late. .165 is a very respectable height. Thank you. I've never heard that compliment about myself. Oh, Lauren was taking a shower. What's she yapping about? Come on, Lauren. Cook. Say you're not using it. Talking about the comp. Okay. For real, for real? Okay, have we talked about Mamma Mia on For Real, for real? Have we talked about Materialists? Those are the movies I want to ask about. Because we have Superman, we have Weapons, and we have Mamma Mia. I don't remember if we talked about Materialists on For Real, for real. I did see Ashley's toilet paper. That was funny. Okay, so I think we have enough to do For Real, for real. We'll do those 4. So we'll film that at some point. Because we have to get our AMC pass. I still haven't canceled my Regal pass. Fuck, Cory, you idiot. I probably been charged like twice. I request you guys see The Naked Gun. I heard it's good. Talked about Superman on one of the digital dailies. Yeah, I'll do an actual one. My short thoughts about Superman, pretty good. Pretty good. I thought the commentary, I was very skeptical if it was actually about Israel-Palestine. I've been convinced it is. There was too much the aesthetic and yeah, I believe it. Fantastic Four is good too. I'm not interested in seeing it. I don't know. I've had trouble getting into Marvels recently. Yeah, we'll watch Rocky 3 before the next one, I think. Take one of them down, get Lauren nominated and a victor. Whose plan was that, though? Whose plan was that? I assume Rachel didn't want Lauren evicted. There's no way that was her target. I assume Rachel was hoping for Vince or Morgan. Did you say Mamma Mia? Yes, I did say Mamma Mia. Ukraine and Russia more than Israel and Palestine. I think the idea of, like, you know, a country with a white passing leader, and I forget exactly what they called the Palestine substitute, but like a distinctly Middle Eastern country is what makes me think it's Israel-Palestine versus Russia-Ukraine. But I think the whole point is it's meant to be like a meta-commentary about the ideas more than the actual conflict, but I think it was pretty heavy-handed about the actual conflict, too. Rachel said Lauren leaving would be a waste. It would not be a waste, but it would be worse than other people leaving. Like, I think if Lauren wins HOH, there's a world where Lauren, like, folds on the noms and does, like, Ava, Ashley, Will, because she's a little scared to put up Rachel at first, you know? I think that's possible. Is Clubber Lang Rocky's best opponent? I think objectively his best opponent is probably Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed or Ivan Drago. Clubber Lang, his stint was too short. And it's hard to assess Drago because obviously it's international. So I think you'd have to say Apollo is probably his best competition. Don't get me talking about Tommy Gunn. Drago on the juice. You don't think Creed's on the juice? You don't think Rocky's on the juice? Rocky 4 is so good. It's camp. I think Rocky 4 is fun. I like it. But it's all fucking flashbacks. It's like 45 minutes of flashbacks in the hour-and-a-half movie. Whatever Hogan's name was, Thunderlips, yeah. He just passed. I think he was a terrible person, right? I'm not going to wish death on anybody or dance in anyone's grave, but I don't feel too upset about it. I've had this stance for a while. It's like dying doesn't absolve you of your sins. But there's no reason to, you know, be weird about it. I'm not a fan of the Rocky movies. I think that's surprising, because even if you don't like sports movies, Rocky movies are awesome. Just as like a rom-com. Hogan's an awful guy. You'd assume, right? But you'd think so. Never seen them. You should see them, Katie. If you're turned off by the sports of it all, like, it's not a sports movie, really. At least the first two. Like, right now, do you guys think Kelly could win? Is Kelly, like, could she get votes in the end? I don't think she can. I think she's really disliked. The only people who seem to like her are, like, Lauren. Rachel doesn't seem to dislike her. Keanu doesn't seem to dislike her, and that's, like, it. You talking about Creed? Your jury will start next week or in 3 weeks. It'll start at the final 9, like it's been the past couple seasons. Why would they go back to 11? It just saves them money. Will said yesterday he said he'd never vote for Keanu except for Kelly. Mickey said she'd give it to Kelly over Rachel. Well, look. I think anyone against Rachel has a decent chance, depending on the composition of the jury. I was Cory. Yeah, no, I've done all the Rocky tourism. Ran up the stairs, took a picture of the statue. Forcing Big Brother applicants to take a basic BB knowledge test ahead of time. Oh my god. You're really enforcing Big Brother literacy tests? That's fucked up. You should really look up the impact of those. It is funny though how like so many liberals came up with the idea of literacy tests after the elections, not realizing how fucking problematic that was. I do get what you're saying though. I just think it's like, here's what you should do. So the way casting works, of course, is you have casting directors, you have casting associates. The casting director, the guy who runs the whole thing, is Jesse, and then there's a lot of underlings. You know what I mean? Which underlings might be condescending, but you know what I mean. I think you should be responsible for your own people watching a season. If you say Blue Kim watch Big Brother Canada 6, you should be asking her questions about Big Brother Canada 6. And if she's not being able to answer them, you send her out. You say, okay, she's not doing it. She's not committed. Because that's how you should view it as a casting person. Like, she actually doesn't care about this show or the game as much. Because really, people who care are more fun. With an exception of Tucker, who did care about some stuff, but like, in weird moments. Some recruits can be good, though. Yeah. I don't think I said anything to push back against that, right? I think they go back to a jury of 9 because it's 83 days instead of 90 to 100, so even with 9. But it's like, now they can cut costs even more. I guess the way you view it is like, oh, now that they're cutting the amount of days, it's going to be less expensive anyways. I don't think they're trying to keep it the same level of expensive. They're trying to make it less. Granted, they started Big Brother Unlocked, so that's an expense, but I assume the network told them to do that. No, whenever I push back against one of you guys in chat, you don't gotta apologize. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of the purpose of me streaming. But because I know how it feels like when I'm chatting in someone else's thing and then they call me out or disagree with me. I'm like, oh my god, they hate me. They're bullying me. But no, you're good. What do you think of a double eviction of the final 11 to determine who will officially be in jury? It's fine. It's as good a time as any. I think they are going to save the double eviction until the blockbuster is done. But people have been doing the math, right? Like, do the days line up? Has anyone actually done the math? Because just on the top of my head, if you're doing an 80-something day season with 17 house guests, you're going to need 2 doubles or some shenanigans. My hope is they either do 2 doubles or they just keep it pretty chill and speed up the end game. They do like a quick final 6 to final 2 in 2 weeks. I think that could solve all the problems, and those weeks are dreadfully boring anyways. It's kind of hard to do it that way just because the TV schedule, of course. Like, you have to have it spaced out a certain amount, but 2 double evictions with half a week at final 3. Yeah, but don't they do half a week starting final, like, 4, almost bleeding into final 5? Love they did a triple like they did in BB Can 10. So I feel like Big Brother super fans, like the Terrans of the world and the RAJP live feed people of the world, hate Big Brother Canada triples, right? They think it's not a good thing to do. What's the reasoning? Does it kill seasons? Too many good people go home in that spot? Too many fun players? Because I've never really listened to the podcast about Big Brother Canada, except for, I think, a little bit of 10. HOH evicts 2 people, and that's just too much power. It's very luck-based. Kills momentum. Yeah. Two double evictions back-to-back, like 23. That was fun. That was pretty unpredictable. Oh, the safety chain? Yeah, like, it'd be fun if Big Brother mixed it up like that. You know what I mean? You could introduce new twists to get rid of people. It's just, the problem with those kinds of things is they always make them very comp-dependent, comp-reliant. Like, that's how you determine who leads the safety chain. I think the safety chain's a good idea, though, because it's like, only one person wins the comp, and then it's all social game. But the way they did it was the 3 people not in the chain then did a competition, which was kind of lame. I wish it was a vote at the end of the safety chain, you know? Like, that would be better. They had Safety Chain and Celebrity Big Brother before Safety Chain. I didn't know that. I didn't watch. I watched a bit of Celebrity BB1 because I remember Tom Green, and I remember was that Ricky Williams or was he season 2? There's a vote at the end of the Safety Chain. I like that. One triple instead of multiple doubles. Here's the thing about doubles, though. Like, doubles often flop, but they're so fun. Like, the anticipation before a double eviction is the best Big Brother you get. Season 2? Okay, so I watched a bit of that, too, I guess. They're both Season 2. Okay, so I was definitely locked into Season 2. Not Season 1. The Hamster Wheel of Doom. Yeah. They should have Brittany and Danielle host that. That'd be fun. You're right, Bran. I guess their logic for that was like whoever wins the comp. Like, you want to give people one competition to try to save themselves. They still had the HOH, but I guess, if you were the outgoing HOH, you wouldn't be able to play in it. I don't know. Michael's double eviction, BB24 was great. I think 24 had a good double eviction. I think 25 had one good double eviction. I think 26 had a pretty bad double eviction. 26 was close to good. 23 had very bad double evictions. 22 had a pretty bad double eviction. 21 had it's not great. Do you think you'd have preferred to win a regular HOH over your double? No. I think I was just on the block. I just flipped the Izzy vote. I think I won the perfect one. Like, in terms of, like, the value to me and how much I cherish it. I do think my bucket list, like, if I went back on Big Brother, even more than winning, I would like to have an actual HOH or a veto. I just want to be... So you guys don't know how this works, but, like, when you're sitting waiting for a ceremony, so you're outside and they have, like, the B-roll shots, the actual veto holder, or the HOH, depending on if your noms or veto ceremony, go upstairs and they give them instructions and they actually submit their nominations or they submit their veto, whatever. And I never got to do that, and I always wanted to do that. So, like, that would probably be the biggest bucket list item, even more than anything else. Double eviction should be a 2-hour episode. I think that opens up the comps they can do. It's an interesting thought. Maybe when they do a double eviction, they should just make that Wednesday. So it's a 90-minute, so we can just see a little bit more. Because it's always awkwardly rushed. The interviews in the first 10 minutes of the episode are weird. Like, if they do a triple, they should make it 90 minutes. How long was the 22 triple? Did they make it faster? Or a longer episode? Damn, Vin's been showering for fucking hours. There's probably, like, goop or something. It was 2 hours, okay. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they did the entire triple in the backyard, which I get, but, like, it was a little bit tough to watch. Ren Davis, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate you. I like people who've subbed for, like, a weird amount of months, like 13, because that means you've been, like, in and out. I think it's cool. Double evictions are fun, but they always get out my faves. They usually get out the underdogs, which I think makes sense. Even in our season, Jared, I think at that point, was the underdog, right? He just wasn't a beloved underdog. Angela was the underdog, of course. America was an underdog at that point. Michael, I don't even know if I'd consider Michael an underdog at that point. I don't think that's accurate. Yeah, I think everything was tougher during COVID, but, like, what's the difference between setting up, like, a quiz booth or a table maze? Like, it's probably not that different, practically. Look at Keanu, though, not touching the block on a Rachel HOH. I hope he reflects on that and is like, this was a nice week. I do think he's going to go a little bit stir crazy, not having anything to do, comps to win. I've liked past double evictions because often the one who's unexpected to be HOH gets that particular one. I actually could not disagree more. Truthfully. Like, I'm trying to think which double evictions have had, like, shocking winners. Like, Chelsea on 26 was obviously not shocking. On 25, it was Bowie and then me, who I don't think were that shocked. Like, we weren't the unexpected people. Like, we were in the majority both times. 24 was Turner, right? Like, I think usually it's actually, like, the expected outcome happens, like, 80% of the time, 90% of the time. Yeah, the BB15 double was probably the best double ever. I think that's right. In terms of drama and strategy and emotion, it was just good. Nicole Anthony, that was a shocking one. I'll give you that. Split house earlier in the season could be fun. I like the split house if they do it at the final 14. I think once you get to 10, there's not enough people in there to be interesting. When it's 12, kind of it's interesting, I guess. But I do like a split house idea with a lot of people there. Ozza was kind of unexpected that time. She evicted Chada. I guess. I don't know. It's a booth comp. Like, I think usually when I hear unexpected, it's like the whole house is against someone and they pull it out, I feel like that is rare, that we get what we want on the double eviction. BB20 double was good. I thought it was terrible. I hated that double. Brett goes home. Like, the whole week we were watching Brett, like, finally figure things out, and he's going to turn on everyone and blow up the house, and then he just got, like, swiftly removed. The low-key bad part about a double eviction is you lose a lot of big personalities who would have very fun campaigns. Danny Briones, a huge example on BB22, would have crashed out when Cody targets her. Tyler targets her. Like, she would have crashed out. Same could be said for me putting Jared on the block. That would be a very fun week. But, the excitement of the double eviction, I think, makes it worth it. Thank you, America, for your input. A little biased, perhaps. Will the mastermind ever return? Is there a reason you capitalize the W in will? Do you have a theory? Or are you just good grammatically? Production expected at least 1, maybe 2 powers to be left. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they don't have much planned. So they like, thought the powers would last a few more weeks. Zach's power lasted a while. Didn't use it, but I can't even think of the last season to have a good end game. I think the best end game we've had in recent years is 24, for sure. I like 24's end game. That was pretty fun. 22's end game, low key. 22's end game was pretty good. The problem is, like, BB22 was terrible from like week 3 to week 10. Like, the middle game was terrible. But the ending where, like, Memphis could have just won a veto and Cody's evicted was pretty fun. We just don't remember it that way because Cody won out. Thankfully, he won out, because if he didn't win, Memphis was going to. 23 had a spicy Final Four. I thought it was such a bummer, Tiffany and Hannah going out 6 and 5. 22 finale is one of the best episodes of Big Brother, period. 100%. Christmas wins Final Four veto. Cody's done. Yeah. Zach's power is waiting for Big Brother 36 Ghost Basement. Good one. I was about to make a Ghost Island joke, and then I realized you were making a Ghost Island joke. So, I caught myself. 21. Yeah, 20. I mean, look, 21 had a great one, but we're seeing how far we can go back until we get a good one. But if you don't count 22, then 21 was fire. That's the best endgame we've had in years. 18 was a good endgame, too. I really enjoyed 18. Because 18 had the 3 pairs and Big Meech in the final 7. Cody had Nicole and us convinced he was taking Nicole. The second Nicole and him started crying, oh my god. No, I think the Big Brother 22 finale is my favorite finale of the show. Except for Big Brother Canada 10. I think BB Can 10 is my favorite. But I think number 2 is BB 22. Because it's not just like Taylor winning is fun, but it was not unexpected that Monty would bring her. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have both parts. BB Can 12. Yeah. It just didn't have live feed, so I don't care. It is, I don't know what the word is. It is exempt from this ranking. It does not qualify. I love Bailey, though. Shoutouts. Hopefully she is fun on other shows. You know, like House guys doing rock, paper, scissors during the final HOH? It was pretty... I mean, shoutouts to Jag. He won the game at that point. He had the game won at Final 4. So, like, for him, I guess it's less stupid, but he thought he was going to lose to Matt. No, never mind. I take it back. But yeah, it was pretty... It was pretty pathetic, but both of them could beat Bowie. I don't know. I think Bowie actually does beat Matt in part 2 if Matt loses rock, paper, scissors. And then Jag probably does make a deal with Bowie. I will say, I have a different perspective on Jag taking Matt after talking to Jag's parents and how proud they were of him for taking Matt instead of Bowie. Which, of course, they're not seeing it from the perspective we are as Big Brother super fans, but, like, you gotta put yourself in other people's shoes at that point. Like, they did not grow up watching Dan Giesling. I understand why he did what he did. It's just, like, I default to the game bot stuff, in which, like, come on. Come the fuck on. How do you feel about Jag's finale speech? I personally loved it, but I think it was bad. It pissed me off. If it did anything, it made it less likely I would vote for him. But I was always going to vote for him. Like, in that final 2, at that point, there was very little that could sway me. And Matt's speech was worse, to be clear. But I thought Jag gave a bad speech. He had the right idea. His bad speech is better than Matt's bad speech and better than that. But, like, I think MJ and Chelsea had a much better speech than Jag. I loved it. Thought it was camp. Yeah, it's almost like you look at it like... like, it's so bad it's good. You know, it's fun. Matt's might have been the worst I've ever seen. Look, the grace I'll give him, it's not him being deaf. Like, he had time to prepare a speech. I think the questions were harder than he anticipated. And I think being deaf might have affected him in the questioning. But he understood the questions and answered the questions. So I really don't think it's that. But, like, I think he might have been flustered by how negative the questions were and how clear it was that Jag was going to win, that his speech was extra bad. But we also saw him on the feeds very confidently talk about not preparing for a speech. So it's like, again, you're trying to give him grace, but... Yeah, I think MJ did a better job in the questioning than Chelsea. I genuinely think MJ was better than Chelsea. Chelsea's game was so much better, and Chelsea was fine in the final 2 that it didn't matter. But I thought MJ defended her bad game better than Chelsea defended her great game. So Chelsea still deserved to win, to be clear. Like, that doesn't move me. But Chelsea started off with some weird stuff where basically someone asked her, hey, you lied to a lot of people, Chelsea. What do you say to that? And she's like, I didn't lie to people. I just used information at different times. I was like, oh. That's weird. The diamond thing? I don't mind the diamond thing. That's just like a speech thing. There's like a cute button for the speech. Felt a little forced, but it's okay. I think like Taylor's was forced too, but the rest of her speech was so good that like it flowed with the speech. Yeah, Jag doing that was good. Do you guys know my favorite Final 2 performance ever? I wonder if you guys know this. Might surprise you. Diamond thing was an evolution of Taylor's sword thing. Seems like it. Steve, Boogie, Gina Marie, Steve, Franzel. Nope. Nope, no one's gotten it yet. Steve, Kevin, Adam, Gina Marie. No. I'll give you a hint. It's someone you guys think I don't like. Someone who you think I criticize too much. Ian. Yep. You got it, Eddie. Ian is my favorite Final Two performance ever. He's so fucking petty. They're both talking over each other. They're both desperate to win. Ian's genuinely annoyed at Dan. He pulls out the cross. That Ian was so fucking funny. He was so, like, catty Chihuahua coded. It was super good. Ball. So funny. And obviously I wanted Dan to win, but, like, I was happy with an Ian win. That was sick. And then Dan tried to be a good sport, even though you could tell he's fucking seething that this guy just beat him. And, like, the entire game, you know, Dan was snowing Ian. Ian threw the final competition, final part one, and then brought Dan to the end. Like, you know, all of that. But in that moment, Ian beat Dan. Ian got one over on him. Ball. That's a How I Met Your Mother bit. I think it's Ted just saying bowl over and over again, and eventually he, like, can't even make the sound. It sounds so weird. Then Ian did it too. Ian had the entire game mapped out before he even got in the house. Yeah. Just as I drew it up, finding the second veto in the claw machine. Just as I drew it up. I was disappointed with Ian in 22. I wasn't. I liked Ian in 22. He didn't do much, but, like, if you saw him on 14, some would say maybe age didn't help him that much between the seasons. It's hard to assess in an all-star season because everyone ages. But yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. He was 21, so being 21 versus 29 or 30, whatever he was. Here's the thing about Ian though. I think Ian is like a better player in 22 than he was in 14, or maybe the exact same player across the two seasons. But on 14, he won a lot of comps, right? A lot of them. And he couldn't, he played the same game. Like, imagine, I think Ian got like 8th, right? Or 9th, maybe. And then if he won out from there in BB 14. He had a couple HOHs, a lot of vetoes, an extra veto. He was only really vulnerable at the final 4 when Dan evicted Shane. He got 11th. He was the first member of the jury. He didn't comp out from 11th in BB 14. When did he comp out from? Was it 9? He had too much faith in Nicole. He was just in a tough spot where, like, he needed the other side of the house to win. He needed Janelle and Kaser to figure things out because he's not running his own side, you know? Do you buy into the theory that Casey being in 22 drastically changes the outcome because Tyler does better? Yes. Because it was not just Casey, it was also Josh. They all would have been a really menacing group to deal with. Casey, Tyler, Josh. And I think Tyler would still have his problems. He would still want to quit at times, whatever, but I think it'd be a lot easier with Casey. He comped out over Ashley's eviction, which was that. Final 9 minus final 4, yes, it was from 9. The replacements were not Christmas. It was Keisha and Memphis, which I think I'd rather have Keisha and Memphis preseason over Josh and Casey. I think in retrospect, I'd rather have Josh and Casey over them. I prefer Keisha still, but I think Keisha would still not have a chance if she was on this cast with Josh. You know, she'd still probably the first boot. I feel like Kaser and Janelle did have it mostly figured out, but they had terrible allies who didn't trust them for no reason. Also, both of them are proven to be really bad. Like, Janelle reminds me of Rachel, but Janelle's worse than Rachel as a player, I think. But Janelle's a bigger comp beast than Rachel, at least back in the day. I think Janelle's run on 6 and 7 is more impressive than Rachel's on 12 and 13, competition-wise. Because, God, Janelle was competing against some beasts. So was Rachel. Actually, Rachel had a pretty... On 13, it was not as hard. But on 12, where she won a lot, like, that was some good competition. I think Janelle does better in today's comps than 22 comps. Yeah, for sure. But I think another thing people, like, underestimate is just, like, the vibes of it all. at a certain point, after winning so many comps, Cameron and Jag, they felt invincible. I think Janelle on BB6 and 7 feels invincible. That's how Keanu feels right now. And it all builds. It's not just that you're the best competitor. It's not just that you're good under pressure. All these factors add up to why Keanu, like, is just more likely to win a comp than anyone by a country mile at this point. Pregnant Rachel would have been crazy. Someone would have to get her off the wall. Rachel has much better game sense than Janelle. I agree. And Rachel's a bigger fan of Big Brother than Janelle. Janelle's a fan, but Rachel's a super fan. At this stage. Second baby born in the house, yeah. Okay, any final thoughts before I bid you all adieu? I have cold flatbread in the freezer for dinner, and I don't want it, guys. I don't want it. I don't want it. But I think I will make it. I hope someone throws a chair in the house. I think Riley is the most likely from the second floor. What's the best renom option? If Rachel needs a renom, I think if you can't convince Riley to be a pawn, then Kelly. I think. Just because Kelly's not a reliable ally. Because the thing is, if Rachel loses Riley here, it's pretty bad for her game, but it's not that bad, and it's very unlikely to lose Riley. Losing Kelly is fine. It's worse than all of her other options, but it's fine. And the other benefit about Kelly is Kelly probably is pretty good at the blockbuster. Riley, too, to be fair. Yeah, no, Laura needed that veto. More than she knows. Do we know if she was picked or house guest choiced or something? Catherine? You don't put up Catherine, because that's... Then, like, Riley's never going to agree to that. Even if Catherine does. Like, but Kat's not the type to volunteer. What are the odds Lauren actually uses the veto? I think right now about 50-50. I know every indication says she's not using it, but Vince will try really hard and Lauren's a bit of a pushover. It might be like a who talks to her last situation, like what happened with Ashley not being the renom during her HOH. Rachel was saying pre-veto she didn't want to renom Lauren. Look, Rachel was trending in a dangerous direction of like taking Mickey off the block and putting up Kelly, and luckily I think Lauren winning is going to prevent that outcome at least. They were just drawn? Okay. Wait. America and I were talking about this. How do they do veto chip draws these days? How does it work? Because obviously we have 3 nominees in an HOH. I feel like I knew this at one point. Someone told me. Like, who draws chips? Is it, like, randomly determined of the 3 noms? Is it... So HOH picks 2. And if... Okay, so there's no house guest choice in there. And if they draw your chip, that's your house guest choice, right? Okay. Makes sense. You don't watch the episodes? How did you tell? How could you tell? I watch Thursdays, and then sometimes I watch it in the background when America's watching. Apparently, Kat's family has contacted production about her relationship with Riley. Is that true? What's your source? I mean, they have every right to. I would. But is that real? That sounds fake. But I do believe you. But that does sound like something someone would make up on Twitter. I will say, if they inform Riley about that, Riley's gonna fucking crash out. Stepmom commented on a TikTok. Okay. I mean, if they tell Riley that in the DR, Riley will fucking freak out. Now, if they're responsible, they won't tell Riley about that. They will, I don't know, remove him from the house. Like... But, like, how do you tell him that and leave him in the house? How do you do that? Like, that's a weird thing to do. you could tell Kat, and maybe that would be enough, but then Kat wouldn't be able to tell Riley. There's actually, like, how should production handle this? Riley was crying in the shower. Yeah, you want to... America, show me the clip. It's embarrassing. Would they tell her Kat, her family's worried? I don't think so. It feels like it's interference, but it's obviously about her safety and security. Wait, I might stay online. No, never mind. There's too many people in this HOH room. I thought we were going to get a Rachel, Lauren one-on-one. Which we are. There's like 7 people in the room. They can't tell them anything unless he breaks the rules. Harassment is breaking the rules. Like sexual coercion, which is not exactly what's happening, but it's trending there, is against the rules. The thing is, like, the rules are very subject to the producer's discretion, which is a problem with the rules, but I think the other thing you have to consider is we are only seeing what they're allowing us to see. So you never want to accuse someone of something that you're just guessing, basically, but it's a reasonable assumption to think there's more, and if they're hiding stuff, it's probably worse. And production would know about that, so hopefully they would act accordingly. Do you think they've asked her about this? Like, are you okay with this? I don't know. I'm sure they're asking her about the relationship, but I don't know if anyone's sitting down saying, like, do you feel safe? I would doubt that. Leaning into the relationship on the episodes. They're leaning into it, but also making it seem like Riley is like more into Catherine than vice versa. It'll probably take a big media firestorm to make them do anything. Well, I think what they're trying to figure out is how to avoid the media firestorm. Oh, what the fuck are these two talking about? Mickey and Morgan with Lauren. They're not talking about anything important. He's got a hero edit. Does he? Oh, you're talking about Cameron. Okay. Yeah, of course Cameron does. But Riley's not an underdog, you know? Like, they clowned on him, I think, in the edit for his dethroning. I mean, I think Riley and Catherine just have the advantage of being the only showmance in the house. America and I were fighting against a couple, not to mention all the other reasons we were under-edited. As a duo. I think individually we were edited fine. My edit was reasonable. America's, I think, was a little bit under-edited, but I actually think they gave America a fine edit. They let her basically be the anti-Suri and Izzy voice. I think it's just after that, her edit kind of plummets. Until it, like, picks up when I leave. Okay, sorry. I said I was getting offline. Any final thoughts before I hit the road, which means going to the other room? All right. Appreciate you guys. Is there anyone to raid? Is anyone live? I doubt it. This time of day? Noon? Tier list? You got one that I can quickly do?